So, the FNAF movie happens. Let's talk about it. So the Five Nights at Freddy's movie finally came out. I mean, thank God it came out. Listen, I don't care if it's good or bad, whatever you think about it, but we've been waiting years for this, so I'm just happy it's out at this moment. Now, I used to be a huge fan of it when it first came out, but then it kinda, died out a bit with me, and recently I've just been like, what is going on? Like, I played Security Breach, but I'm there like, huh? Now, the movie itself, listen, going into this, I have low expectations, so maybe this is why I found it enjoyable, but overall, I thought it was pretty good. I know loads of the FNAF fans have been saying it was amazing and stuff. I'm giving it 10 out of 10s. Come on, hold up, we're not pushing it that far. But it was better than I expected. I also think the critics were being way too harsh with this. I mean, it wasn't amazing, but it wasn't that bad. Listen, pretty much this is just another Mario situation. You'd be going into it as a low critic score, but then there was a high audience score, which is basically what happened with this movie. This is why everyone should have their own opinion, instead of relying on stupid people that don't know the franchise and the lore that's coming from. Speaking of the lore, what happened here? Now, typically adapting a video game movie doesn't go well, and most of the time it's due to, the game being like 10 hours long and you can't really fit that into a movie. Uncharted. What? However, recently they have been improving with the likes of Sonic and Mario, and those kind of make sense, as with Mario it's the same formula over and over, and with Sonic they've done a whole different thing with the characters. So now, making a Five Nights at Freddy's movie, you could have went down two paths. You could literally just went down the typical route of just security guards, survive Five Nights, the end. Or go into the lore like the people that love this franchise care about the most, which is what they do here, except it's in its like own spin on things. Like William Afton isn't Mike's dad, he's Vanessa's. Now, I was there like, huh? But I haven't read the books, and apparently it does stay faithful to the books, and there's also a lot of game references, and it does stay sort of faithful to the games. And obviously this is like its own separate lore, which I don't think some people understand. So I don't really mind what they've done here. They've kind of just created a whole separate lore, like with the books, but you can use the books and the games to answer certain questions in this, and some things may be similar. Like, there was a spring lock suit in the back that's, well, I thought it was Baby at first, like a prototype, but it's a doll called like Ella from the books. However, that in that book universe is like a prototype of Baby, so maybe they're using that in this film to build up for a sequel or the third film, because we're definitely getting that, as I think it's like the highest open weekends for Halloween and for Blumhouse. So yeah, we're definitely getting a sequel. Now in this, there's a whole separate story based around Mike, his little sister, and trying to get custody of her for more money, I think. So that's different to the franchise, but I think it kind of makes sense for a horror film. You've got to develop characters a bit more. Except one of them doesn't really work out, and that's Vanessa the cop. Now, I'm not saying she's a bad actor, far from it, but there's just certain scenes where she just switches. Like, the animatronics want to build a fort with Abby, and Mike's a bit skeptical, but then Vanessa goes, yeah, go on. Yeah, there is a We Are FNAF scene. So they build a fort, and Abby goes up to Bonnie and gets electrocuted, and then Vanessa is like really shaking and a bit scared. So they all leave, but while they're leaving, Vanessa comes up to Mike and goes, if you bring it back, I'll shoot you. And we're there like, hang on, a second ago you were just there like, yeah, let's build a fort together with these animatronics, and now you're saying don't? It's just a bit hypocritical. She also doesn't really have a character, really. I think they just used there was just exposition to explain stuff to Mike, like why the animatronics are acting weird, who William Afton is, all that stuff. Now I see people complaining about the horror aspect of this film, and yet going into this I was skeptical because it was PG-13, except in the UK it was a 15. Okay. So going into this, we were expecting just jump scares galore and just barely any gore. That rhymes. But actually there was not as many jump scares as I thought. Obviously there was a couple with Balloon Boy, but it was kind of like just a doll. So I don't know if we count that as Balloon Boy. Maybe you'll get in the sequel or something. Now this film was gorier than I thought. Obviously not too much gore, as we would have got a way better Springlock scene, but I'm still happy we got it nonetheless. Even though it's a bit weird how it happens, I don't really like that. The cupcake bites his suit and then that causes it, which yeah can happen, but I thought they were setting up the whole rain thing with the water, as it was raining outside. Then they talked about the roof for a bit, so I thought the roof's gonna just drip a little and it's gonna fall on them and then Springlock. But it's still alright with the gore, better than I thought, because there's one scene where Abby's babysitter goes up to Freddy and looks into the mouth, and she gets pulled in by the spirit, and he just slams down on her and she gets cut in half. So that was quite a good kill. Now I do hope with the following films they do get a bit gorier, as I'd love to see like the fire from FNAF 3 or the one from FNAF 6. I'd also love to see maybe they go to the sister location and you get to see the scooper and stuff. That would be cool. So maybe increase the age rating with each follow-up. I mean, we're gonna age from then, but I know they're gonna be like, yeah, we're gonna keep this low because we want the younger fans to see this because they're the ones that are bringing the dough. Which, fair enough, the game's the game. Overall though, is this a bad film? No, far from it. Obviously, they did care about making a good film for the fans, and that's why the audience score is probably so high and the critics so low, because the critics haven't played the games and obviously don't know some of the lore, so that's why. But I do think this film could have been better than it was, but overall I still enjoyed it. I'd probably give this movie a 6 out of 10. I mean, it probably would have been higher if we didn't have, that 14. Obviously, the film redeems itself, because when I saw that scene, I was there like, no, this film's awful now. But then they brought it back where the animatronics go against them again and turn evil. Now, don't let my score interfere with how you rate this film. If you think it's amazing, good on you. If you think it's bad, good on you. It doesn't really matter. Your opinion's your opinion. Don't let the critics interfere with that, or don't let anyone else interfere with that. Have your own opinion. And I was smiling the whole way through this movie anyway. I think it might just been because this franchise, we've been waiting for this movie for 8 years. So to have it finally means I can finally rest and just relax. Okay, that's my review. Sorry if I pissed anyone off. Bye.